Do you want to know what to do when gentle parenting isn't working? A lot of people are wondering that because many people went down the gentle parenting track and then realized this wasn't actually being helpful in solving those childhood behaviors and helping to empower our children to choose to do things differently. So in this video, we're going to talk about what's happened with the gentle parenting movement, why there's some struggles, and what you should do instead. All right, so the gentle parenting movement, the whole phrase was coined by Sarah Oakwell Smith, and she was a British writer. She wrote a book called Gentle Parenting. Back in 2015 was when the book came out, and I think she really hoped that it would just add a sense of understanding with some instruction too in the parenting, but the part about the instruction really didn't come through, and the part about just understanding emotions and talking through emotions and being there with your children through emotions and like helping them feel like you would never make them sad and all that kind of stuff really became the thing. And the movement really led toward no consequences too. In fact, it was very discouraged on social media as people were talking about gentle parenting to use any type of consequences with children. They would say they don't like the consequences because of social media's interpretation. It became this movement that was, if your child doesn't like it, it must be bad. If your child likes it, it must be good. So the child's emotions were leading everything. Well, what happened was we ended up turning out a generation of young people and young adults that feel like their emotions should control everything. And if you do not affirm their emotions and fix their problem for them, then you are an oppressor somehow, because they are the victim of their emotions and they need somebody else to fix it. And so they don't take personal responsibility. There's a lot of impulsivity that happens. The whole process anyway is so incredibly sluggish. It's so slow. The parents are spending tons and tons of time talking to the child about their feelings and everything else, and then they're not really seeing anything change. They're not seeing results. The child is sucking all of this attention from the parent. The parent is emotionally investing in the child, so they're trying to solve a child's mid or back brain problem with mid and back brain with the parent, and this makes it feel very non-productive. In fact, in many cases it's not, and the children have launched into all kinds of risky behaviors, not caring about their parents. In fact, there's been a detachment, like a general societal detachment from parents. It's gross, actually, what has occurred, because the parents are being treated as enemies. If you're not perfect, you're an enemy. And if you think I have to be perfect, then you're also an enemy. and so the parents absolutely can't win. The parents have put themselves in this position with all of this emotional coddling that now the children feel very vindicated in turning on their parents and thinking they don't care about me, they don't like me. It's only other people who will validate every emotion I have and make my problems go away and tell me that everything's understandable, but they'll never make me stretch or grow. Those are the people that care about me. And so we keep everyone in this very juvenile, very immature state. I think people are noticing that, and that's why they've ditched from the gentle parenting approach. So what do you do then? If it isn't working, you've got to switch your plan. Okay, I do believe in proactive parenting. This whole channel is called the Teaching Self-Government channel. I'd love to share with you what the definition of self-government is. So self-government is two things. Number one, being able to determine the cause and effect of any given situation. And number two, possessing a knowledge of your own behaviors so that you can control them. So that means you understand cause and effect. You also self-evaluate regularly. You understand cause and effect in your own relationships, your own behaviors, and you don't think you're perfect. You, in fact, recognize you've got to fix things all the time to become the version of yourself that you ought to become. That's a really loaded word, ought. That suggests that there is a better version of you out there somewhere. The person who is self-governed has a higher bar that they're trying to reach, maybe a higher authority that they are following, and this keeps them pushing forward on self-improvement again and again. There's a religious word for this if you're a religious person, and that word is repentance, acknowledging when you did something that wasn't the best, fixing it, moving on. This is not an emotional process. This doesn't mean you can't have emotions, because all humans do, but this is a process where you're staying in your prefrontal cortex, front brain work. You're staying calm so you can think clearly. As soon as you start going to mid or back brain, if you're a self-governed person, you recognize, oh, you know what? I got to recognize that's what's happening, and I've got to have a plan for how to get myself back to my thinking brain so that I can actually solve this problem. We help our children learn all of those things as well. So I'm going to show you just a few things that actually might be helpful to you. You can find these things for much more expensive than anywhere else at the website teachingselfgovernment.com. So this book here, Power of Calm, this is my latest book as of the filming of this video. It has been a huge success. People are loving it. I wrote it to help people understand what is going on in your brain, when you can think, when you can't. What do you do with that perfectionism? What do you do with the emotions? How do you handle them, but also still be able to maintain calmness and get to a place where you can solve your problems? And then I also wrote this last year a series of books for children called The Calm Crew. And there are 3 children in each book, and they learn how their brain works, when it's calm, when it's not. In the book Brain Power, they learn in planning power how to make a calm plan for themselves so they can hold themselves accountable, follow through, and have hope going forward. And then choosing power, how to choose calmness right in the moment when it's the most difficult times that might happen in their lives. So super powerful books to help them learn how they work inside so that they can actually choose calmness. But of course, there's this other book too. This is probably the one I'm the most known for. It is a best-selling book. It is called Parenting a House United. This book teaches you how to solve the problems with the children, how to set up an environment where parents and children can both learn self-government. They can learn how to stay calm. They can learn how to disagree appropriately. They can learn how to accept no answers when things don't go their way, how to motivate themselves, and helps them take full responsibility by accepting corrections. There's just so many great things in here. This will help you fill in the gaps for all those skills, those adult skills that your child still needs, but they haven't been gaining them just by you understanding their emotions. Here's the pieces. So we get the calmness piece understood, and then we start working on, but what are the adult skills we need? How do we take responsibility? That's what we do. Roles are a key piece to that. So knowing who you are in the family is a big thing. This book, Roles, will help you understand the roles that you have in your family and help them understand the role that they have in the family. And by the way, roles are different than responsibilities. And then these books, if your children are little, if they're like 12 and under, these are great books. The 4 Basic Skills children's books, they teach your children the skills like following instructions, accepting no answers and criticism, accepting consequences, and disagreeing appropriately, which takes care of 99% of your behavioral problems. So that's a lot of books. That's not even all the books that I've written, but it's quite a few. And I wanted to share them with you because sometimes you just need a little bit of a resource to hold on to. So definitely go to teachingselfgovernment.com for those books. But I also wanted to just share with you that when you are trying to figure out something else to do, you want to make sure that you make a clean break from what you were doing before. So the gentle parenting movement, there may be a couple of things in there that are good, like really seeking to understand the other person. That's good. Working on that attachment and that bond and caring about that attachment with the child. That's good. But the approach, you need to break completely away with when you learn a new approach, because otherwise what happens is you don't have space for the new habits to come in, and you won't be as successful. So the way that you replace an old habit that isn't working is by replacing it with something new. And really, the teaching self-government approach helps you be able to communicate so much more effectively with the child what they need to do next so that they don't end up having the same problem again and again. Now, there is a video, it's a full-length class on this channel you could watch that could help you learn more about the teaching self-government program and the skills and stuff. It's called The Not So Known Secret for Parenting Success. So you could look at that video, but also you could just go to teachingselfgovernment.com. You could poke around there. There's so many videos, podcasts, articles, and resources to help you and your family be able to unite and learn the skills and principles of self-government that lead to so much peace and happiness. So go to teachingselfgovernment.com. I'll see you there.